Hello folks and welcome to the FPL Tips YouTube channel for yet another video. I'm Akhilesh and in this video I'll be taking you through my team for Game Week 4 and what my transfer plans are ahead of Game Week 4. And so let's directly start and look at how my team is looking like. Firstly, let's start by looking at my Game Week 3 team and how I did there. I ended up with 59 points after taking a -4 hit. A pretty decent peak. I climbed up a few ranks and now I am overall 1.7 million, somewhere around that. Johnston was on goal. I expected Brentford to score, but not too many goals. So John Johnston did start on goal. He didn't get too many saves, so he ended up in 2 points. In my defense, Chilwell got me a clean sheet. He probably should have gotten a haul over here if he had taken that shot and scored his goal. Guardiola probably again should have kept a clean sheet, but ended up in 2 points without the clean sheet. I think with Guardiola, mostly you're either between 2 points. It's either 2 points or 6 points. This was a week where Brighton didn't do well, so Estupinian ended up with 1 point, and probably looking at considering him selling ahead of the next few game weeks, and we'll come back to that later. Rashford actually had 2 assists in this game, and in by playing in the left for Manchester United, Saka scored a goal and scored his penalty, so he also got 8 points. And Bruno Fernandes was the star of the team for this week, and he got a goal and an assist for United in their 3-2 win against Nottingham Forest. He looked really lively. His underlying stats are through the roof at the beginning of the season, and he looks like a mainstay in my team. And I'm happy keeping both United assets ahead of the fixture run they have. And I think Saka is also worth keeping now that he's got back his penalties. And I think penalties will most probably be switched between Odegaard and Saka. And Saka, I think, I mean, since Fulham were leading at that point and Saka was the main penalty taker for Arsenal, Saka took the penalty. If there is a different scenario in the game, then maybe Saka gives the penalty to Odegaard. But I see Saka still as the main penalty taker for Arsenal. The other Arsenal player here who probably also should have returned, Martinelli. I'm a little bit disappointed in Martinelli. He has not performed so well in my team. He ended up with just 2 points this week, and I think I'm going to consider selling him ahead of next week. And we'll come to my transfer plans later this video. The fifth one is Foden, who didn't start but played like 5 to 6 minutes and got an assist in that. And I think he looks good to start the next few games once he comes back and he's 100% fit. So he's not going anywhere from my team, and I'm actually quite excited looking at the Fulham fixture for Foden next week. And Haaland and Jackson were up top. Haaland, as we saw, missed a penalty but scored, and pretty much template. So not too excited, not too sad as well with Haaland. Jackson returned, and it was probably should have been a haul there as well. But it was nice to see Jackson return, and I'm quite content holding Jackson going forward for the next few weeks. Now let's look at game week 14, and Johnston will be on goal again. Johnston, there's a small doubt with him because Dean Henderson is arriving at Crystal Palace from Manchester United. He should be announced soon, and then at 20 million of keeper like Dean Henderson will probably be playing as well. And I think both are good enough keepers, and uh, it's always a risk going with Crystal Palace then. And I'm looking to sell Johnston, but not for this week. Wolves at home is a decent enough fixture, and they when you look at the clean sheet odds, Crystal Palace are also at 44% for the clean sheet odds. So I think I'm quite content holding Johnston for this week, and then I will look at selling him in future game weeks. Wolves at home again, as I said, was a good fixture to have. My defense currently is Chilwell, Guardiola, and Estupinian. Chilwell plays Nottingham Forest at home, Guardiola Fulham at home, and Estupinian Newcastle at home. Chilwell and Guardiola, I think I'm quite content keeping them in my team. When you looked at the clean sheet odds, I'll bring it up again. It Man City and Chelsea are top for the two best teams with highest odds for clean sheets, and you do expect them to keep clean sheets this week. Chilwell, bit of a tricky fixture there because Nottingham Forest have ticked along and scored a few goals, but they have overperformed with their scoring. So I'd expect Chilwell to keep a clean sheet here and also maybe get an attacking return or two. And probably there's a haul waiting to come for Chilwell. Uh, Guardiola, I think, I mean, City are the best defense in the league by a distance, and having a City defender is all like you can always expect a clean sheet against whichever team they play. And Fulham are probably one of the weakest attacks in the league so far. And with Mitrovic, after Mitrovic left, they are not creating so many chances. They're not creating big chances. So City still haven't conceded a big chance. So I think I'm content keeping Guardiola for this week. Estupinian is the one who's actually causing a few headaches now because Brighton have not become are not keeping clean sheets, are not a good team, and they played Luton at home, Wolves away, and West Ham at home in the first three games, and now the fixtures get more difficult. And Estupiñán is someone who I am considering either getting a bench option to bench him the next two game weeks, or probably even sell him. But his attacking potential is still there, which is why I will be starting him against Newcastle because my bench also doesn't seem like a very strong bench. So Estupiñán will be starting this week, and I hope to get an attacking return or two. I'm not hopeful for any clean sheet potential here. Coming to the midfield, it's the two Arsenal, two United midfield which continues to be there. Rashford, Bruno Fernandes from United, Saka and Martinelli from Arsenal. I think Bruno Fernandes and Saka, I'm pretty much happy holding. Especially Bruno because his underlying numbers are great. He looks very central to United, and he looks like the old Bruno. He looks like the one who creates a lot of chances, gets into the box, takes shots, different things, and also gets out penalty. And he also was on set pieces for United against Nottingham Forest, which is worth looking at even with Ericsson on the pitch. And now with Shaw injured, Bruno will be on like a lot of set pieces. So that's a good point, good thing to have as well. With Bukayo Saka again, I think his XG was all expected assists was about around 1.08 and expected goals around non-pen was around 0.57. So he also got into a lot of the expected data against Fulham, and I expect him to be a 90-minute man on penalties. So I think I'm content holding Saka for the upcoming fixtures. Martinelli is the one I'm looking to sell from Arsenal, and I feel like Enketia could continue to start a few more games, and Jesus is not fully fit, and it will take some time, I think, for Jesus to start most of the games, and I expect Nketiah to start against Manchester United. So I probably will be selling Martinelli this week, and Rashford, I think I will keep him this week, and I look at the fixtures ahead. They have Brighton at home after this. Then they have Burnley away, Crystal Palace at home, Brentford at home. I think the home fixtures are where Rashford generally performs well, generally scores, and he's now back to the left wing, so that's promising as well. And whenever Hoyland comes, I think he becomes slightly a better option, and the goal threat is still not visible, but I think it will come. I think if we remain a little more patient with Rashford, I think that will come. So I'm happy with Rashford. Phil Foden is someone I'm excited to have this week, and Fulham at home. I think there is a haul waiting to come for Phil Foden this week, and yeah, I think he's going to be the main chance creator. There is a potential risk of him being losing minutes, but I think now that he lost his minutes against Sheffield, I think he starts this and probably starts the next game as well. So I'm content holding for Foden for now, and I'm looking forward to seeing him next the current week. And my front two, my team is completed by my front two, which is Erling Haaland and Nicholas Jackson. Both of them good home fixtures. Both of them are probably in the top three strikers for expected goals this season. So far, Jackson has had five big chances himself as well, and he looks like he has still been underperforming his goals. He looks like a person who could get a goal or two, and he's a haul. There's a haul waiting for him as well, as it is with Chilwell. And my captain armband again for this week is probably going to be with Erling Haaland because Fulham currently are the worst defense in the league. They have conceded the most expected goals in the league so far, and Man City is a game where you can sense four to five goals there, and I think Erling Haaland will be very central. And I also think he keeps penalty for now. If he misses another penalty, then we might be quite worried. But I think he keeps penalties for now. Now looking at my bench, I think I have Turner at home, Turner against Chelsea away, who's probably going to stay on the bench. Johnston has the better fixture, so I'll be starting Johnston. Archer, Baldock. Archer now has moved to Sheffield United, and I expect him to start a lot of games now. He'll be their main man. He'll be probably be on penalties as well. So This is actually a decent fixture, Everton at home, to bring him in. But I mean, there's no player who has a bad fixture who I can put him instead of. So Archer is going to stay in my bench. So is George Baldock from Sheffield as well. They also have Everton at home. There is a possibility you can expect for a clean sheet for Sheffield United and play Baldock ahead of Estupiñán, but I think Estupiñán's attacking potential is just too much. So Estupiñán will continue to start and Baldock will be on the bench. Kabore also has a decent fixture, but I think West Ham are quite probably will be dominating this game, and you expect West Ham to score. So Kabore will be third in my bench for this week. That's about that. And now let's look at my transfer plans. The first one I'm looking at is to selling Martinelli to Madison. There are three actually. Three different transfer plans that I could consider this week. I have one free transfer, and yeah, I have point 0.8 in my bank, so I think Martinelli to Madison, anyways, is a downgrade. Madison at the time of recording also went up 7.7, but it's anyway a downgrade, and it'll give me more money to keep in the bank. And I look at Madison; he's very central to Tottenham. I think he's the main man. He's the talisman. He's on set pieces. He's going to create a lot of chances. He's going to get into the box and take a lot of shots. And naturally, with Leicester also, you could see that he's someone who has a knack for scoring goals, even from midfield. Even if he drops deep quite a few times, he's someone who is a goal scorer and also an assist provider. So I'm quite happy going to Madison, and their fixtures look good as well with Burnley away, Sheffield United at home. Arsenal away and Liverpool at home in the middle, then Luton away. But Arsenal away and Liverpool at home are also fixtures where Madison could score. Arsenal are quite leaky at home, and Liverpool are also not a great defense. So I'd be happy holding Madison, keeping him playing him for those games as well. And Madison, if he gets into my team, unless barring any injuries, is pretty much a long-term hold for me. So I'm looking at Madison, and I think he's a great option to consider for this week. The other midfielder who put his hand up last week was Sterling. He looked quite lively in the first two games against Liverpool and West Ham, but the third game he actually got a haul and scored a couple of goals and gave an assist. Was very central. Was taking a lot of shots in the box. Was had a few big chances, created a big chance as well for Jackson. So he'll be in the mix of both goals and assists as well. I expect him. I expect him to be on penalties as well now that Enzo has missed his penalty previously. So I probably will consider Sterling for 7.1. But I think I want a piece of Spurs as well. I think Madison is little more central to his team than Sterling is for his team. And Madison's on set pieces as well. So Madison is probably my priority transfer. Sterling is also, I'll be keeping an eye on Sterling as well. But I feel like Madison is my first priority. But who knows? By the time game week 4 deadline comes, I might be changing my mind. But that's where I am with that. And another alternative transfer, which I am probably considering for next week rather than this week, is Baldock to Udogi, and having that bench playing option and rotating him with Estupinian will be quite nice. And Udogi also, as Spurs, he's looked good. Spurs have looked much more solid than I expected them to be. I will want to wait and watch him against Burnley and then decide, because Sheffield United at home is calling for clean sheets. So I think that's where I am with Udogi, and that's where I am with my transfer plans. Mostly, it's probably going to be Martinelli to Madison, and yeah, that's what my team is looking at towards going ahead of Game Week 4. So that brings us to the end of my team selection video. Let me know if you liked the video, and please